are not aware of their heart conditions or they think they're not going to have it anymore. Heart disease is a major health problem in the United States. It is important to know what causes the disease and how to prevent them by understanding the mechanism. Today, I would like to inform you about the relationship between the heart disease and all the type of dietary fats. Last summer, I was constantly getting sharp pains on my chest area. I decided to go to Korea to get my body checked. The doctor told me my heart was a little swollen and there was some inflammation around my heart area. The doctor told me my diet may have caused the inflammations. I realized ever since I came to America, the amount of greasy and fried food I ate may have increased greatly. This type of food condition is contains a lot of trans food. There is a possibility you could be one of 805,000 people in the future. You can prevent heart disease by managing your diet from your early age. My goal is to inform you about different types of fats and their effects on your hearts. I want to discuss first why unsaturated fat is beneficial for your hearts. Second, why trans fat is harmful for your hearts. Lastly, I'm going to discuss about the myths and truths about saturated fats. I have briefly mentioned what I'm going to cover today. Let's move on to the first point. I'm going to explain why unsaturated fats are beneficial for your hearts. Unsaturated fats reduce your bad cholesterol levels in your blood. According to American Heart Association's monosaturated fats and polysaturated fats contain high density lipoproteins, which is called HDL, which can help reduce bad cholesterol levels in your blood and help lower the risk of heart disease and stroke. Another fact is that replacing saturated fats with unsaturated fats reduces the risk of body disease. According to the article, Harvard study, high olive oil consumption associated with longevity by Harris Gottman. One study shows that among people who replace butter, margarine, or mayonnaise with olive oil, the death rate was as much as 34% lower than the people who didn't substitute olive oil for those fats. Now you're aware of the role of unsaturated fats, let's take a look at the reasons why trans fat is harmful for your heart. Trans fat stick on your artery and eventually block the arteries, which can cause high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. According to the article, Good Fats, Bad Fats, and Heart Disease by Robin Models, it says doctors have also linked trans fats to an increased risk of inflammation in the body. These inflammations can cause harmful health diseases such as include heart disease, stroke, and high blood pressure. I have told you why trans fat is bad for your heart. Let's discuss the myths and truths of saturated fat related to the heart disease. Because of the myth that intaking saturated fats negatively affects on your heart. Saturated fats has been avoided from our diets for many centuries. However, there is a new research that in limited intake saturated fats is not going to affect your heart disease. All research shows that they relate in taking saturated fats, which also contain LDL cholesterol, is an absolutely bad influence on your heart and your body. According to the journal's article, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2009, the article said saturated fatty acids intake increases plasma LDL cholesterol concentration, Therefore, intake should be reduced to prevent coronary heart disease. To make low levels LDL cholesterol, many experts suggest reducing saturated fat in your diet. However, there is another story about saturated fat. Updated research shows that there is little, there is a vague connections between heart disease and saturated fats. According to the journal published on October 14, 2021, Dr. Rebecca Kelly, a professor on Newfield Department of Population Health, University of Oxford, said there was no clear associations between total saturated fats and cardiovascular disease. However, consuming 5% higher total energies from saturated fats from it was made associated with 19% and 21 elevated risk of total cardiovascular disease. They studied 114,285 UK participants who were free from the cardiovascular disease. The participants needed to complete the surveys, which was asking the total saturated fat consumptions in a day. 8.5 years later, the researcher tracked the people and found out there is no significant connections between saturated fat and cardiovascular disease. Even though 5% more saturated fat intakes increase the risk of cardiac disease, it's not enough to support the bad growth of saturated fats. Let's recap what I have told you today. Today, I'm informing you about the relationship between heart disease and each dietary fats. First, I inform you about the benefits of unsaturated fats of heart disease. Secondly, I explain the reasons why trans fat is bad for your heart. Lastly, I explain the myths and truths about saturated fats. Even 30 years ago, we hated consuming all types of fats from our diets. Even though certain fats, such as unsaturated fats and limited saturated fats, is the great resource of our energy and has a lot of benefits for our body. Right now, we are figuring out what type of dietary fats we can consume from food and how each type of fat affects on our body. Research on all different fat types are still continuing. Remember to eat plenty of vegetable, fruits, unsaturated fats, and limited saturated fats for your heart